Hi, Stevie.
Morning, sir. I'm okay, and you?
I'm good. I'm good. Ndlovu yona njani wendlovu zakithi? Nani ke mlotshwa indlovu zethu.
Nomlotshwa useyindlovu.
Bahlonishwa iProvince siyangena. Ayikhona ngoba bakhona naba
Order, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, may we take this opportunity for a silent prayer or meditation. Siyabonga.
That session.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just a briefing session.
Okay. Honorable members, we want to take this opportunity to pay respect to all members of our province and the country who may have passed on since the last sitting to any cause of death, whether road fatalities, natural causes, COVID-19, we are all paying our respects to them. May we all then rise to observe a moment of silence to honor all of those departed saints. Yanga imiphefumulo yabo ingalala ngoxolo.
Amen.
Honorable members, we will move to announcements, which is item 3 on the order paper. We will start with the ruling on virtual sitting and voting. Honorable members are reminded that this virtual sitting will be conducted in terms of the rules for virtual meetings, read with our existing standing rules. In terms of Rule 6 of the rules of virtual meetings, the quorum required for virtual sittings of the House are as provided for in the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa and the standing rules of the Legislature. Standing Rule 44 of the standing rules provide that, I quote, at least 1/3 of all members of the Legislature must be present to constitute a plenary meeting of the Legislature, close quote. Rule 44.2 further states that a majority of the members of the Legislature must be present before a vote may be taken on a bill. The rules for virtual meetings also define present as follows. Present means the attendance of a member in a virtual meeting by electronic means in a manner that allows the member to join and participate in the meeting. Honorable members, the Secretary has confirmed that we have the required 41 members present in order to vote. Therefore, this sitting is properly constituted. On party voting, Rule 7D of the rules for virtual sittings also states that the presiding officer must, before or at the start of the discussion on the matter, expressly inform members if a party vote will be taken. In line with the above, I confirm that voting on the appointment of the Public Service Commissioner will be done on a party-by-party basis. A party vote is a collective vote on behalf of all the members of the party present at the virtual sitting, up to the total membership of that party in the sitting. I will, however, allow an opportunity for any individual member to vote differently from his or her party, or to abstain if any member wishes to do so. Honorable members, we will now move to apologies. We have received an apology from Honorable Mr. S. Zikalala, the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, who is having a government commitment with ministers of police and Minister of Minerals and Energy as they meet Richards Bay Minerals in the aftermath of the impasse and violent incidences that have taken place there. Honorable Ms. N.P. Nkonyeni, MEC for Transport and Community Safety and Liaison, is also part of the delegation. Honorable R.R. Pillay will also leave the sitting early to join the delegation, MEC for Etia. Honorable Mr. V.F. Hlabisa, the leader of official opposition, has urgent commitments to attend to. Honorable Mr. M.W. Twala, the whip of the Economic Freedom Fighters, is attending an organizational matter out of the province. Honorable members, those are the apologies we received, coupled with member that is not well. Honorable members, Honorable M. Tuli of the DA is currently not well. May we remember her in our prayers. I know her beliefs, but let's remember her in our prayers, honorable members. Honorable members, Honorable Ms. J.N. Kele is celebrating her birthday today, the 3rd of June. We want to wish you happy birthday, honorable member. May your day be filled with all that God has deposited in your heart. I also wish to congratulate the Honorable Mr. Kunene. Wish the Honorable Mr. Kunene a happy birthday in advance. He will celebrate his birthday on Friday, the 7th of June. Lube luhle usuku, mhlonishwa. Honorable members, may all your wishes be fulfilled and may all your dearest dreams come true. Members are also informed that the Sex Work Symposium will be held on Friday, the 4th of June, 2021, starting at 9 o'clock at Grange Hall, Umsunduzi, local municipality, Umgunguzovu district. The connection to the hybrid symposium is going to be sent to all members. Honorable members, the month of June is a month in which we commemorate the struggle as espoused by our youth when they said enough is enough. They said this after the imposition of a language of instruction to them that not all of them were familiar to. This is the youth of 1976 that resisted the teaching in Afrikaans and had to lay their lives for such a struggle. As the Free South Africa, we continue to acknowledge June as the Youth Month and celebrate the struggles that were conducted by the youth before us. To the youth of today, we know that they have different struggles that they have to face, and we say it's up to them to fulfill their mission or to betray it. We wish all youth in the province a great Youth Month. Also, honorable members, the month of June is also known as the Pride Month. Part of the gains of the South African struggle was to allow diversity and freedom to be who and what you are. This is anchored by what you believe in and what you choose to be. The LGBTQIA community is equally protected in the Constitution. The Constitution is one piece of legislation that allows for coexistence in whatever form or shape, thus ensuring unity in diversity. It protects and ensures the rights of all. May we also, in this month, be part of ensuring the rights of all and embracing our diversity. We also want to call upon all members for this month to ensure that they encourage and promote the message of love within our communities and constituencies, ensuring that there is promotion of tolerance. There is also promotion of human dignity. We must end hate in our communities. Let us celebrate the month of June with love and respect for our forebears who tirelessly and selflessly sacrificed for freedom that we enjoy today. Notwithstanding that, struggle goes on to deal with ills like unemployment, gender-based violence, hate crimes, and substance abuse. May all of us enjoy a happy Pride Month. Honorable members, we will now move to the announcements or reports by the Premier. Members of the Executive.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity.
Can we be in order? The LOGP is speaking, honorable members. LOGP.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The announcement will be coming later on, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will now go to item number 5, tablings. We will start with the Portfolio Committee on Premium. They will table the report of the Premier Portfolio Committee in terms of Standing Rule 142 on the recommendation of candidates suitable for appointment to the KwaZulu-Natal Public Service Commissioner post. Public Participation and Petition Standing Committee tables the 2021 LGBTQIA plus symposium resolutions, interfaith symposium resolution, and the Workers' Parliament resolutions, all for the year 2021. The Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs tables the Herikwala District Municipality Annual Report 2019-2020, Herikwala District Municipality Oversight Report 2019-2020, eThekwini Municipality Oversight Report 2019-2020, Commonwealth Parliamentary Association tables the Legislature branch of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association tables the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Annual Report 2019-2020. The Financial and Fiscal Commission 2022-2023 annual submission for the Division of Revenue is tabled. Now, is there any other tabling that we might not have mentioned or that we have not recorded that members want to make? Seeing that there is none, let's move to item 6. Honorable members, we are now going to formal motions or notices by the Chief Whip. Honorable Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I don't have motions or notices from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Whip. We will now go to the orders of the day, which is item 7 on the order paper. 7.1 is the report by the MEC for Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs on the progress with regards to the Provincial Economic Recovery and Transformation Plan, including an industrial plan to support localization while investing in the economy for inclusive growth. We call upon Honorable MEC R.R. Pillay. Unmute, Honorable Lavi.
Apologies, Speaker. Honourable members, we present this report during a week in which the country moved into adjusted alert level 2, a decision precipitated by the threat of a third wave engulfing the country as 4 of the 9 provinces are already battling a third wave of infections. Despite that threat, we are encouraged by the way in which the vaccination program, which offers much hope, especially to the vulnerable citizens, is being rolled out. By the 31st of May, a total of 181,948 people over 60 years of age have been vaccinated across the province's 108 vaccination sites. I am happy to be among those who took advantage of this opportunity and encourage others to do so as well. Defeating COVID-19 remains our overriding priority. It is the single biggest impediment to economic recovery. Also this week, on Tuesday, Statistics South Africa released the quarterly labour force survey results for the first quarter of 2021. The report shows that official unemployment rate increased by 0.1% from 32.5% in the fourth quarter of 2020 to 32.6% in the first quarter of 2021. The official unemployment rate increased in 6 provinces. The largest increase was recorded in the Free State by 2.2%, followed by Limpopo by 2.1%, Western Cape by 1.2%, KwaZulu-Natal by 0.9%, and Mpumalanga by 0.5%, and Gauteng by 0.3%. During the same period, unemployment has decreased in 3 provinces, namely Northern Cape, Eastern Cape, and Northwest by 5.3, 4.1, and 1.1% respectively. The severity of the impact that COVID-19 has had on our economy, as reflected in the unemployment figures, required that we develop a practical plan for recovery. After consultation with stakeholders, the Provincial Executive Council adopted the Economic Reconstruction and Transformation Plan in September last year, and as the name suggests, the plan, which disaggregates our economy into 14 sectors, is not only focused on reigniting economic growth, but it also seeks to ensure that we achieve a more inclusive economy. We are encouraged by the fact that labor, business, and civil society formations have not only endorsed the plan, but they have made a set of commitments towards making the plan work. The social compact signed by all four partners on 30th of April 2021 commits all of us to work together to grow the economy and protect jobs, find solutions to unblock bottlenecks in the implementation of catalytic projects, and also to create a resilient economy. Some cross-cutting commitments are reviving and growing rural and township economies, boosting sector performance through localization, implementing transformation measures generally, and empowerment for women, youth, military veterans, and people with disabilities specifically, and entrepreneurship development. In pledging support for the plan, all social partners emphasize the importance of having a clear monitoring and evaluation mechanism, and the process to put that in place is already underway. Let's deal with some interventions and progress per sector. Honourable Speaker, allow me to outline a few of the interventions. These are not exhaustive, and regular reports will be made to the Legislature inter alia via the Portfolio Committee. In agriculture and agro-processing, agriculture is always an essential service and therefore not affected by lockdown, and has proved resilient as a sector. In addition, 285 jobs have been facilitated through the RASIT program as follows: Ugu 37, Ngumjlovu 41, Ilembe 55, eThekwini 16, King Kletshwayo 20, Mkanyaguda 77, and Harigwala 39. A total of 217 farmers have been supported with agro-logistics support to transport produce to their destination of choice and to the market secured by and through RASIT PMU. The Department of Agriculture continues to build its capacity to extend its programs throughout the province. With regard to clothing and textiles, investments worth 780 million has been secured to fast-track the implementation of the clothing and textile special economic zone. Dubai Trade Port and Itala will meet this week to discuss the working relationship. The business case development, including land use and financial implications, is completed and presented to the political leadership as well as strategic partners for final approval. This exercise was completed successfully, and the nationally crafted clothing and textile master plan is already yielding results, with major chain stores committing to increase local content significantly. In my budget speech not so long ago, I reported about Woolworths giving an order to a clothing factory in Port Shepstone, where they were able to increase their employment from just 43 to over 300. With regard to the creative industries, a total of 4.625 million has been paid to 722 beneficiaries for COVID-19 relief to assist athletes, coaches, technical personnel, sports federations, and recreational entities. With regard to finance and services, the financial sector is crucial to economic recovery. We have engaged all the major banks with regard to the implementation of the credit guarantee scheme. We have expressed our unhappiness at the rate of implementation and the lack of transparency. There may well be problems with the conceptualization of the scheme and a common understanding of the risk management policies, but the less than 10% uptake through the scheme is disappointing, to say the least. We will continue to engage directly with the banks provincially and lobby our relevant national structures on this matter. We will also work towards achieving a coordinated cumulative effect through our developmental financial institutions provincially and nationally, namely Itala, KwaZulu-Natal Growth Fund, the Industrial Development Corporation, Land Bank, and Development Bank of South Africa. With regard to the fourth industrial revolution, ICT and innovation, ICT hubs have been established in Bergville, Coxted and Mfolozi. Upongolo, Umdoni, and Richmond are work in progress. The private sector continues with an aggressive broadband rollout in the major cities and towns. What is not in the written statement that I think is before you is health, innovation, and manufacturing, if I may be allowed to report that the Durban Trade Port is developing a full-service approach to developing the pharmaceutical and healthcare sector. Durban Trade Port has both normal and cold chain solutions in the cargo terminal with national and international linkages. This is critical for the high value and supply chain requirements of the sector. The second element is the industrial infrastructure, common utilities facility, and the Durban Trade Port owned buildings, which are able to provide turnkey solutions for manufacturers. Trade Zone 2 is specifically targeted for this sector. The third element is the innovation hub, which is being built in Durban City, which will accommodate the Moses Kotane Institute and have space for laboratories, research and development, and training to support the needs of the sector. The pharmaceutical strategy has been presented to the Durban Trade Port Board and will be finalized shortly. With regard to industrial development, our interventions in this sector include the revitalization of the industrial estates in Isithebe, Matateni, and eThekwini. The DTIC and DBSA have appointed a contractor to undertake phase 2 of the revitalization of Isithebe. The contractor was introduced to the stakeholders in February 2021, and IDFC is discussing the inclusion of local SMMEs. In respect of eThekwini and Matateni, an application for revitalization was submitted to DTIC in the 2020-21 financial year, and the decision to approve funding for eThekwini and Matateni is still in process within DTIC. It is expected to be completed at the end of the second quarter of the 21-22 financial year. With regard to the informal sector, we will be incrementally working with all municipalities to develop and implement effective responses to the needs of this sector. A transfer to the Msunduzi municipality for the provision of 250 new informal trader stalls, storage bins, and ablution facilities in different areas in the Pietermaritzburg CBD and Freedom Square taxi rank was concluded in March. The service provider has been appointed, and the project is set to be concluded in November 2021. On Friday, the 4th of June, which is tomorrow, we will do a handover of site to the contractor for a 6 million rand informal market hub in Kokstad. With regard to infrastructure development, these are in the main public sector projects, and the focus is on projects with the highest job creation opportunities and includes the water, sanitation, roads and bridges, as well as human settlements funded by all three spheres of government. With regard to trade and investment, as part of the strategy to aggressively market KwaZulu-Natal investment projects, 12 online projects and destination marketing sessions have been conducted to date in countries such as Germany, China, India, Indonesia, that should be the UK and Turkey. Some of the new investments secured are set out later in this report, but major effort is also being put into the business retention aspect of the work of ETIA and KZN. I must say that this is very important and somewhat stressful work. We'll be trying to protect jobs in the face of some industrial instability. With regard to manufacturing, automotive, paper, and pulp are among the major manufacturing sectors, and we are working with Toyota South Africa on a potential major expansion. Discussions with Transnet are advanced on the possible use of the old Durban airport site as part of an automobile supplier park, and Mondi and Sappi are part of engagements in relation to the expansion of the Durban port. The construction of shared production and business incubation facility for small enterprises in the detergents and chemical cleaning products has been completed in KwaMashu and is currently being operationalized. With regard to mining and mineral beneficiation, a number of projects are being facilitated that will seek to focus on value addition / beneficiation of aluminium with regard to engine blocks, mag wheels, slugs, and extrusions. The 6.9 billion rand expansion of titanium mining by Richards Bay Minerals is being pursued vigorously. This project, called Zulti South, is being held back by subjective shareholder and community issues, and this is receiving priority attention. Indeed, Honorable Speaker, that's why we are here in Richards Bay today, as you indicated, with the National Minister of Minerals and Energy and the National Minister of Police. More conscious commitment to localization and beneficiation could lead to companies such as Bell Equipment maximizing production and job creation. With regard to the oceans economy, excuse me, Bayhead Precinct in Durban Harbour has been identified as a suitable site to pilot the boat or shipbuilding park project, and an amount of 3.564 million has been transferred to Itala to commission the assessment study. ETIA and DARD are working towards implementation of fisheries support pilot projects in various areas. In relation to tourism, with a large number of countries still blocking travel to South Africa, international tourism recovery will take a while. It is for this reason that our efforts have been and continue to be on reviving the domestic tourism market. Tourism KwaZulu-Natal has been hard at work rolling out its destination marketing campaign to encourage South Africans to travel to the province, and this campaign largely contributed to tourism performance during the December and Easter seasons, where we had bookings of 62.3% and 50% respectively. This year, we will focus more attention on African markets through tourism trade partnerships, including airlines and tour operators. Internationally, we are engaging a number of trade partners to run destination training for tour operators and travel agents directly and through collaboration with South African tourism. On the tourism development front, we are working on a number of tourism infrastructure projects across the province, as outlined in the Vote For budget speech tabled last month, which are focused on boosting rural tourism while empowering small Black-owned businesses with a particular focus on women and youth. Paramount to our recovery is providing assistance to small tourism businesses in the form of the 20 million rand KwaZulu-Natal Tourism Relief Fund. Applications are currently being screened, and the outcome of the independent assessment is expected to be submitted by the independent assessor on Monday, the 7th of June, with disbursements planned for later in the month. It is anticipated that 400 businesses will benefit from this fund. This is in addition to the 609 businesses who benefited from the National Tourism Relief Fund. We are hopeful that the legal issues around the 1.2 billion National Equity Fund will be resolved soon. With regard to new investments, despite the constrained environment, we are encouraged by the recent investments taking shape in the province. As we reported when we tabled the ETIA budget, these investments include, but are not limited to, the following. Nyanza Light Metals, the construction of the first phase of the Nyanza Light Metals titanium dioxide pigment production plant commenced in March this year. The Nyanza Light Metals project will be rolled out in 3 phases. The total investment value of the project is 4.5 billion rand. Wilmar Processing, the construction of this 1.3 billion crude vegetable oil refining facility at Richards Bay IDZ commenced in October 2020. Currently, civil engineering works are underway with piling and earthworks nearing completion, and once completed, the facility is set to create 202 permanent jobs. The Pepkor Logistics Facilities, this 1.5 billion facility based at the Keystone Business Park in Hammersdale, was launched on the 11th of May 2021 by the Premier, and construction of the facility is currently underway, and once operational, will create 2,200 jobs. The Defy Warehousing and Distribution Center was officially opened on the 19th of May 2021. This is a 170 million warehousing and distribution center at Danskraal in Ladysmith. The facility has the capability of loading and unloading in excess of 200 trucks per day and a storage capacity of 100,000 cubic meters of products. It will create 130 new jobs. Business process outsourcing. The growth of the business processing out sector has been phenomenal. South Africa was recently named as the best top global business services sector location. Almost 15,000 jobs have already been created, with a potential for a further 55,000 in the medium term. With regard to the port expansion, the Durban port expansion, that is, the 100 billion investment over the medium term into the expansion of the port will not only reduce congestion and increase capacity of the port, but will lead to job creation and a massive injection into the economy of the province. Our social compact will be central to efforts at ushering in a growing and inclusive provincial economy. Rebuilding confidence is key. Trust and accountability between the social partners is essential for sustainable confidence. On the 27th of May 2021, the KZN government signed a memorandum of understanding with African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank. This Pan-African development financier is headquartered in Cairo, Egypt, but is already funding some multi-million rand developments within the country, including the Nyanza Light Metals plant referred to earlier. We believe that this MOU will herald a new era of investments in KZN, and the province has presented 20 billion rand worth of projects for consideration for funding by the bank. As the Premier stated during the signing, the MOU will also ensure that there is support for manufacturers who are based in the province, but further, it will ensure that those manufacturers have access to the African markets. The African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, which was recently signed, is an important development. And through Trade and Investment KZN, we recently held a session on the agreement opportunities. This is in recognition of the possibilities for cross-country trade, and companies in the KwaZulu-Natal region are encouraged to export directly or indirectly. The agreement will ultimately bring together all 54 member states of the African Union, covering a market of more than 1.2 billion people, bringing together the world's largest working age population with a combined gross GDP of more than $3.4 trillion US. Africa lags behind other regions of the world in terms of intra-regional trade, and according to the African Development Bank, intra-Africa exports amount to only 16.6% of total trade, and this compares very unfavorably to Europe, where 60% of European trade happens amongst European countries, and within the Asian countries, where it is over 30%. In KwaZulu-Natal, the struggle for opportunities has recently led to the emergence of various militant business forums in many parts of the province. And although the principle of advocating for economic transformation is noble, the aggressive nature of the forums, which often leads to disruption of high-value catalytic infrastructure projects and closure of business operations, this is unacceptable. Our provincial government has drawn a clear line against those who engage in unlawful activities, including blatant intimidation. These elements must face the full might of the law. Mafia-style protection rackets will be fought tooth and nail. We will, however, work with all formations genuinely interested in lawful and sustainable transformation. We have thus developed a localization framework which takes into account the unique challenges affecting different sectors, such as mining, automotive, and construction, amongst others. Due to time constraints, I'm just going to list this pillars of this framework, which are enterprise development, economic transformation, supplier development initiatives, and the department is pleased to report that 250 million was dispersed to over 953 SMMEs, thereby creating 1,285 jobs. We reported extensively on Operation Dvula in the budget speech, and I'm not going to go through that. Let me conclude by saying that local government is quite key to a recovered, transformed, and sustainable economy. Water and electricity are key economic issues, as are basic planning and approval processes. COPTA has already begun the work of getting local authorities to prioritize this work and building institutional capacity. We must take the social compact down to district and local levels. In this regard, eThekwini is leading the way and have accepted the challenge to become an example of best practice can be used as a benchmark by other municipalities.
Honorable MEC.
Can I take
Honorable MEC.
Can I take 30 seconds?
Round up.
Thank you.
Round up.
There is no magic wand. The road to economic recovery and job creation will be long and hard. We are inspired by the many examples of patriotic endeavor of all our social partners. Let us unite behind this plan. The immediate task is to build trust and confidence as we implement our programs. Honorable Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. We're now going to call upon the MEC for Health, Honorable Nsimelane Zulu, to give the report on the status of TB epidemic in KZN for all districts and the metro. Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Greetings to you, greetings to the honorable members. Speaker, let's appreciate the opportunity to present this report. This report on TB to the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Legislature is informed by an initiative of the Office of the Presidency through the South African National AIDS Council called SANEC in order to raise the profiling of TB epidemic in South Africa. SANEC is chaired by the Deputy President. The aim of this initiative is also to accelerate progress towards the elimination of the disease by 2030. TB is the leading cause of death in the country, where around 124,000 people died from it in 2016. This is according to the World Health Organization. It is not only a health problem, Speaker, but a societal one as well. And it is exacerbated by the social determinants of health, such as poverty and environmental factors. This TB report and subsequent debate will enable us as members of the Provincial Legislature to champion the response to TB in the province and in our different constituencies, and to continuously drive political action to end this disease. We all have the power to create an environment in our own communities to improve TB outcomes and for TB research and development to be effective. Working together, we can raise awareness of the disease among our constituencies and can provide a mechanism of accountability for government funding while enhancing the performance of health programs. Speaker, let me speak to the burden of TB in the province. The status of TB in KwaZulu-Natal, according to the national health regulations, some communicable diseases are notifiable. This means there is a legal requirement for them to be reported to government authorities and for us to always know how many people are suffering from it. TB is one such disease. The number of notifiable cases are those confirmed to have TB using a sample that looks at its prevalence per 100,000 people. These notified cases are reported to the Center for Disease Control. Regrettably, KwaZulu-Natal has the highest burden of TB and HIV in the country. TB notifications have in fact declined, however, from the 1,128 per 100,000 people reported in 2010 to 410 per 100,000 people reported this year. What is TB? It is caused by a bacterium called Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which mainly affects the lungs, but also affects the rest of the body. And Speaker, there are two kinds of TBs. One is pulmonary TB, the other one is called extrapulmonary TB. Pulmonary TB is a TB which develops in the lungs, and it is the common type that we all know about. But the second one also develops in other organs of the body, such as the spleen, the liver, and skeleton TB, among others. This type of TB is transmitted by people with active TB through the spread of tiny droplets when coughing, sneezing, or sneezing without covering their mouth or nose, as well as through spitting. And who carries the burden of disease, of this particular disease? People living in crowded and poorly ventilated settings, migrants, inmates, refugees, those who face the risk of discrimination and barriers to care. The second point is TB is also linked to HIV infections, although it's not limited to that. It's also linked to diabetes, malnutrition, alcohol, drug abuse, and tobacco use. However, we can cap the spread of TB through infection control, early diagnosis, and finding undiagnosed cases, the administering of the BCG vaccine, which is a vaccine that is given to children at birth. But if it's not given at birth, this vaccine can still be given during the first year of their lives. We can also cap the spread of TB through prevention with medication. Susceptible TB is treated with standard 6-month course for anti-TB drugs. However, there are other different types of TB that exist, which include your multi-drug resistant TB, commonly referred to as MDR. This requires a longer two-year course of treatment with more drugs. This is a strain of TB that cannot be treated with the two most powerful first-line treatment anti-TB drugs. Hence, it is called a multi-drug resistant. But the second one is the extensively drug-resistant tuberculosis, commonly referred to as XDR. This is a form of TB caused by bacteria that are resistant to several of the most effective drugs that are being utilized, and it also requires a similar 2-year treatment as mentioned above. Despite the high burden of TB in the province, the TB treatment outcomes have substantially improved over a 10-year period, from a 58% treatment success rate in 2009 to 81.1% in 2019 for susceptible TB. However, We remain concerned that the loss to follow-up and death rate is high at 10.7% and 7.5% respectively. Speaker, we have also included in our report a table that indicates the number of cases in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. eThekwini being the highest with 20,655, followed by Umgungundlovu with 5,179 cases, and King Tetwayo being number 3 with 4,926, and the other districts follow to that. I'm just indicating those. I hope members will be able to go through the spreadsheet and familiarize themselves with these particular numbers. There is also a spreadsheet that talks to the success rates, death rate, and loss to follow up. We have also, we are presenting it here according to districts so that members, when they go to their own constituencies, they also have a proper sense in the districts where they function on what is the state of TB there. The drug-resistant TB outcomes have a long treatment regimen success rate slightly increased from 67% to 70% due to the slight decrease in the loss to follow-up from 18.8% to 12.3%, and the death rate from 17.4% to 13.6%. No improvement was marked on the short treatment regimen. We've also put on our report a slide, not slides, but sheets that will assist members in relation to the treatments in particular in the different districts. But let me then speak, Speaker, to the factors that are associated with defaulting. And these have a number of factors and are quite vast. The first one relates to the healthcare and system-related factor. One of the issues when patients or some patients were interviewed on why they are defaulting, they indicated that they were not able to complete their course of treatment, which is attributed to defaulting, due to, among other reasons, traveling away from treatment localities, consequently missing scheduled appointments or running short of drugs. The other element is a societal one and economic factor, where we say sometimes inadequate access to food pushes our people to default because they are unable to take their medication when they have not eaten, but also the only usage of medicinal herbal medication. Slalo, maybe let me, Speaker, indicate here that sometimes our people only decide to use our traditional medication and therefore stop using or taking their TB tablets. And this also leads to the default rate. The low income capacity have also been given as some of the socioeconomic reasons for patients defaulting. The other factors relate to patient-related factors. Among patient-related factors, the lack of understanding of the need for treatment compliance has also been cited, coupled with inadequate knowledge about TB. The other factor relates to recurring of usage of alcohol or alcohol abuse, consequently people forgetting to take their drugs and eventually defaulting as some of the causes for patients to default, and they then are unable to follow or finish their treatments, hence they then default. Let me then speak to the issue of the KZN strategy for TB control. Our strategy for TB control is based on a number of pillars. And let me start with, I will just mention the pillars, try to run, Chair. Okay, I still have some time. Try to run, Chair. The first pillar number 1, is integrating community-based TB activities. Here we are talking about raising awareness through the dissemination of information, education, communication material, behavioral change communication, infection prevention and control, and the training of providers of care. Also heightening the screening of TB patients through contact tracing, sputum collection, sputum transport training, and training providers. We are also talking about linking TB patients with clinics, transport support and facilitation, accompaniment, and the handling of referral forms, providing the treatment support, adherence to counseling, the reduction of stigma, teaching patients about pill counting, and strengthening home-based care support. Pill counting, Speaker, assists in that it makes sure that whoever is taking medication is able to follow up even when they had forgotten to take their pills. Once they count them on a daily basis, they are able to understand whether they have defaulted or they have skipped a day or not. And here we also speak to an issue of our patients getting support from the different community members, whether it's a family member or someone that they trust within the community and who will assist them with the pill counting on a daily basis. Pillar number 2 speaks to the integrating of TB into education. We say TB should be included in school curriculum in the 5 levels of schooling, which are early childhood, primary school, secondary school, tertiary school, and non-formal education. Children can be taught about cough etiquette. And we have seen this happening, Speaker, with COVID-19 in particular. While COVID-19 is a new disease, but our children learned very early on how to cough properly, and they are the ones who actually were able to teach the majority of our elders on how to cough properly when it comes to COVID-19. So we have seen that it is actually doable, and we are requesting and championing that it should actually be part of the curriculum. TB stigma reduction is one of the things that can be taught. Screening and treatment adherence support can also be taught and be part of the mainstream education. Pillar 3 speaks to integrating TB into water, sanitation, and hygiene. We can reduce the spread of TB through providing access to good quality water, ensuring safe water storage and management, including treatment of water. On sanitation, we say safe handling of excrement is important, management of waste and vectors such as mosquitoes and ticks, proper use, cleanliness, and management of ablution facilities. On Pillar 4, we are talking about integrating TB into agriculture, and here we are making a request that we have noted that most agricultural programs supported by NGOs use group approaches to improve farmers' decision-making capacity through initiatives such as integrating life skills into agricultural practices. Participants in the agricultural sector can also be taught about TB prevention, screening, referrals to TB diagnosis. Also, improving social and livelihood support for those affected can be integrated into group activities. We also think agriculture is quite important because it will assist those that are defaulting on the basis of not having enough food or enough access to food. If agriculture, as it is doing currently in relation to One Home, One Garden, can be extended to some of those that have been diagnosed with TB, we believe that will assist them in ensuring that they are able to adhere to the protocols. On Pillar 5, reducing the rapid transmission of TB in the mining sector, we can reduce rapid transmission of TB in this particular sector through improved TB screening for mine workers, and this should be led by both the private sector and the unions. All mine workers screened for TB and those found to be infected must be put on treatment immediately. We can enhance TB prevention and TB care for mine workers through the establishment of occupational health one-stop service centers, something that we have spoken about, but we have found that has not happened in all the sites that are mining. We can also improve the tracking and tracing of ex-mine workers through the rolling out of a database that is specific to them. It is also important for us to ensure that mine workers wear protective clothing. Again, here, the private sector and the unions will have a serious role to play. Pillar 6 speaks to the collaboration with all the government departments and the civil society. We have a responsibility to address underlying social determinants of TB, such as overcrowding, poverty, hunger, unemployment, among other things, through better built environments and better access to social relief, information and communication. And this we will only be able to deal with if we work together, both as government and the private sector and civil society. The burden of TB is amplified by poverty and living conditions. Therefore, collaboration between all government departments and civil society in ending the scourge of TB is crucial. We are also making a call to the legislature and its members to embrace programs and activities that will assist in curbing the spread of TB, and members Speaker, here we are making a call. Members acting as TP ambassadors in their different constituencies. We believe that this will accelerate public awareness and education on issues surrounding TP. We are making a call to all members of the Provincial Legislature to take up programs in their constituencies in partnership with the Department of Health and the civil society in order to highlight the scourge of TB and curb its spread. Communication activities by the legislature, acting as communication activities by the legislature and members of the legislature acting as TP ambassadors will accelerate public awareness and education on issues around TP. The target audience that we are faced with is the general public. Speaker. Key population here, we are talking about men, youth, women, children, the elderly, and those that are in the LGBTQI+ communities. Recipients of healthcare services are also a category that we are looking at, and the various internal and external stakeholders. The message is prevention, signs, symptoms, treatment, and adherence that we need to champion are: 1, prevention, where we must be able to say you can prevent the spread of TB by knowing the signs and symptoms, going to testing and completing treatment. 2, adhering to cough hygiene, cover your mouth and nose when you cough or sneeze. 3, and regular washing of hands is extremely important. The next message that we want to send is that signs. What are the signs and symptoms of TB? 1 is the coughing for more than 2 weeks or any duration. If HIV positive, loss of appetite, weight loss, and weight loss that is not planned, and night sweats are considered signs of TB infection. When a person develops active TB, and signs and symptoms may be mild at first, which can lead to a delay in seeking care, resulting in transmission of bacteria to other people. Treatment and adherence. Some of the key messages that we need to champion about TB treatment and adherence are: TB can be cured if you complete your treatment. It takes a full 6 months to clear the lungs of the TB bacteria. Secondly, if people do not complete their treatment, they can develop drug-resistant TB. This form of TB is much harder to cure, as I have indicated earlier on. The third messaging here is that TB testing and treatment is free at all government clinics and hospitals. In conclusion, Speaker, we would like to recommend that the legislature supports the fight against TB and the allocation of additional resources for needed planned interventions if that comes. We are making a call on the legislature and its members to launch and champion the provincial plan to end TB. We are also making a call for members of the legislature to become ambassadors of TB in their different constituencies. All government departments and systems need to recognize their role in the fight against TB and actively develop programs to eradicate TB in KwaZulu-Natal through Operation Sungumasake. Indeed, a collective effort is warranted if we are to curb the scourge and end TB by 2030, as is the plan and the strategy. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Honorable members, we now move to 7.3. The report by the MEC for Agriculture and Rural Development on sustainable. Kodwa ke akujwayelekile ukuthi ube-party leader isenza umsindo endlini is. Siyaqala ngale party leader that is showing tobacco inside the house. We've never seen it. Report by the MEC for Agriculture and Rural Development on sustainable and radical land reform, particularly on the plans and progress on the development of greater support for emerging and small-scale farmers, including a report on the consolidated support by all government departments to ensure expanded production and ecosystem and ensuring a better impact. I call upon the Honorable MEC DN Sithole Moloi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. May I take my mask off? Greetings to Honorable Speaker and members of the House. Honorable Speaker, I'm also delighted to report on the sustainable and radical land reform, particularly on the plans and progress on the development of greater support for emerging and small-scale farmers during the month of for youth. And I'm happy because I have witnessed the eagerness, passion, and willingness by young people to fully participate in agricultural sector. Isisho sesiZulu sithi umthente uhlaba usamila. Lokhu kusho ukuthi ikusasa lokuthuthuka kwemboni yezolimo lilele ezandleni zabantu abasha. Kuliqiniso lingephikwe muntu ukuthi imboni yezolimo igcwele abantu abadala. Yingakho ke sisebenza ngokuzikhandla ukuguqula lesi simo ukuze intsha iqhubeke yondle isizwe. I wish to also salute young farmers who are going through a process of ensuring that they are skilling themselves to get skills that will enable them to do their farming and also to assist others that want to come in to the sector. Hence, I also want to salute young farmers who are doing brilliant work to transform this sector and the programs that they are engaged in also ensuring that the young people's voice and the young people are part of the farming sector. During this month of the youth, we recognize the work of young people. As a result, we will be launching the skills development program where 215 graduates will be trained and acquire relevant experience on different aspects of agricultural farming enterprises. On the same month, we are going to have graduation in both of our colleges, that is Oscar and also Cedar, about 130 youth that will be graduating on the 11th of June and also on the 18th of June. This will enhance the capacity of agriculture, having young people coming on board and participating. Honorable members, there is now an outbreak of foot and mouth disease in Umkhanyakude district. As a department, we are working tirelessly to contain the spread of the disease. This is a joint operation led by Department of Agriculture and Rural Development and Community Safety and Liaison. In this operation, animal health technicians are working hand in hand with the South African police officers to intensify virus surveillances, conduct roadblocks and random stop and search and strategic routes in the bid to lock down any movement of hooven animals in and out of all the affected areas. Honorable Speaker, we also collaborate with the Community Safety and Liaison Department in containing and resolving the issues of farm killings and stock theft in the province, in order to show the proper coordination between the national and also with the provincial government. Chairperson, Honorable Speaker, the Minister says, I quote, "The contribution of Black commercial farmers in our country's agricultural economy is still low at 11% in the livestock sector. In the lowest of inclusion, call for serious intervention from both government and other stakeholders in driving the inclusive growth." I close quote. As a department, we have declared the year of 2001-2002 as the year of livestock in order to unlock the livestock potential in KwaZulu-Natal and contribute immensely in our economic recovery and growth. Honorable members, the triple challenges of poverty, inequality, and unemployment continue to exacerbate the food insecurity situation, especially for vulnerable households. Hence, the department has identified the horticultural value chain as one of its strategic pillars in the agriculture and agri-processing master plan. This program will promote the development of vegetables production and tropical fruits such as macadamia, citrus, mango, and amarula. The produce derives from this pillar of focus will be marketed through various platforms, including radical agrarian socio-economic transformation, that's RASET. The program provides an integral strategic drive and will enhance economic transformation, job creation, and improve entrepreneurial activities, especially within the previous disadvantaged farmers who are presented with an opportunity to be producers and not only consumers in the seed value chain. Intervention of this value chain will include increased market access, extension support, and encouraging value addition to primary products, provision of capacity building to small holders, farmers, encouraging export for primary and processed products, as well as promoting partnership with commodity organization in order to ensure standard compliance, and among others. Department has successfully concluded partnership agreement with Perishable Product Export Control Board, which will help to facilitate the training of the total number of 25 smallholder farmers. Through the horticulture value chain, the department seeks to maximize the production in the existing irrigation schemes and strengthen the mechanization support. In the current financial year, a total number of 15 horticulture-related projects are planned for implementation at a budget cost of 21 million. The majority of these projects will be supporting the RASET program. Department has started the production of seed in the 4 research stations, namely Makatin Research Center, Sedar, Dundee Research Center, and Kokstad Research Station. Whilst the department has been supporting communal livestock farmers over the past year, in the current financial year and beyond, there is going to be an invigorated interest to promote the commercialization of both beef and goat enterprises produced by communal farmers. Over 13 million has been put aside to help ignite the genesis of this program in the province. To this end, the department will be promoting actions of livestock across the province, especially in the district within the competitive advantage for livestock production. As part of the pilot district for communal beef improvement, Umkhanyakude, uThukela, and eThekwini are prioritized, while goat improvement will be in Umkhanyakude, Umzinyathi, uThukela, King Cetshwayo, and Zululand district in this current financial year. The department has various programs and intervention to curb the scourge of household food insecurity within the communities of KwaZulu-Natal. The revitalization of One Home, One Garden by the department through the support of the Provincial Executive Council in the last financial year is beginning to take shape. In the 2021 financial year, the department has targeted 21,277 households and has supported 22,636 households with agricultural food production initiative. In this current financial year, the department is planning to further build from this number to increase people who could be guaranteed of food security at a household level. Honorable Speaker, as part of KwaZulu-Natal social cluster that provides services to sustainable livelihood, the department is working closely with the Department of Human Settlement and Social Development in implementing its One Home, One Garden and fruit trees in all the new and existing households selected for support by the war rooms service delivery structures in the province. I'm also excited to report that our partnership with the Department of Social Development to provide food insecurity household within sustenance will be launched on 3 sweet potato vines producing site in Makhathini Research Center, Sedar Owen Stole College of Agriculture this financial year. These vines will be distributed to food insecure household, early childhood development centers, and community nutrition development centers. Furthermore, as part of the food security intervention, the department research produced 29,409 mushroom production packs. These were distributed to food security guardians in the districts for members to produce mushroom to supply protein requirement, and where applicable, some make some income by selling the surplus. Department will continue to enhance this program. Honorable Speaker, the African indigenous people has a wealth of experience and expertise of indigenous knowledge system that will help improve the food security outcome within the province and beyond. To this end, we have indigenous plants can be a major role in enhancing quality of life and improving food and nutrition security. Sadly, the use of indigenous plants and food has declined due to the non-availability of these plants, and its food is modern, commercialized, and industrialized market, and lack of investment in research and development. Yet these underutilized species plays a crucial role in food security, income generation, food culture, and can contribute to the nutrient requirements. Nutrients found in indigenous crops and vegetables such as amaranthus, orange, fresh, sweet potato, and mushroom are good source of proteins and vitamin A and D, to mention a few. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the mentioned nutrients play a significant role to boost immune system. Honorable Speaker, the department has also have advanced on the agri-processing master plan, which is undergoing the alignment with the national plan. We are still awaiting the finalization of it. But safe to say that we advocate for the establishment of 6 prioritized commodity production schemes, which will include the red meat, white meat, grain, horticulture, sugarcane, and the cotton value chain. Honorable Speaker, the department decided to intervene through mechanization support service program to ensure the food security in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Department, on the course of its annual multi-planting season program with over 22,000 hectares already cultivated, supporting over 77,000 beneficiaries across the province. Department, however, experienced delays in the implementation of program due to heavy rain. In this current year, department is planning to support 10,800 producers to cultivate 25,000 hectares, majority of which will be channeled to the grain value chain. Honorable Speaker, there has been a great progress in the implementation of infrastructure project between 2019-2020 and 2020-2021 financial years, where farmers were supported with construction of cattle handling facilities, fencing, rehabilitation, and construction of deep tank. About 62 infrastructure-related projects were established, and over 350 kilometers of fencing was installed in the previous financial years. In 21-22, the department plans to establish 72 new infrastructure projects and install over 422 kilometers of fencing. Honorable Speaker, we have come before this House and says we are going to deal with the issue of mega nurseries. We want to say that we are in the progress and a lot has been done in respect to that. In respect to the agri-hubs, we want also to report we have done all the necessary requirements as to start the process, and we have also identified 4 districts as we have reported previously when we were presenting our budget. With the investment to support farmers in 21-22, Department has set aside 254 million for strategic support service aimed at development farmers in the province. Through this investment, 58 black farmer projects will be supported with infrastructure development, supply of breeding animal and installation of irrigation and repairs of pumps, including the improvement of the genetic coloration of wool production sheep breeds. The department continues to provide support in terms of extension and advisory services. And we have currently have 582 agricultural advisors employed across the province for technology transfer to all farmers. We are also have 40 new practitioners that has been included, and we are going to advertise for about 31 extension practitioners during this financial year. Access to land reform farms. Honorable Speaker, the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal mandated the department to conduct an assessment of the land reform farms in the province. Honorable Speaker, over 1,000 farms are assessed, and a comprehensive resuscitation plan was developed with projected and financial investment of 5.5 billion to bring them to the optimal production. The non-production of these farms put a burden on the amount of food produced for the people of the province, thus increase the price of food in the market. This is the reason why the province will need a phased-in investment from the national government to fund these resuscitation over the period of years. Over the past 3 years, the department has provided provided various support. Oh, my apologies, may I drink the water? Over the 3 years, the department has provided various support to over 290 land reform farms with an investment budget of 146 million. Furthermore, in 21-22 financial year, we are planning to support 49 livestock value chain at an investment budget of 110 million. Honorable Speaker, I wish to say we had a detailed presentation which give all these projects that I have outlined, the amount and the number of people that are going to benefit, and also the number of jobs that are going to be created. And I felt that because of the time that you have given me, I won't be able to present it as such. But with your indulgence, I will also attach with this report that a presentation, so that for the easy work for our members to be able to read in conjunction with that presentation. On that note, I wish to conclude by saying that we are determined to transform and bring radical change to the agricultural sector. Kungumsebenzi wethu-ke sonke ukuqinisekisa ukuthi isizwe sinokudla okwanele. Indlala ayinabuhlanga, ayicwasi ngokwebala nangokwepolitiki. Ngakho-ke kungumsebenzi wethu sonke ukuthuthukiswa kwezomnotho nokulwa nendlala kwisifundazwe sakithi. Honorable Speaker, I wish to thank you for giving me this opportunity, but also to say, because I won't just put a blind eye, we'll also consider the request from the Department of Agriculture. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Honorable members, we will move to item 7.4 on the order paper. It pertains to the report by the chairperson of Premier Portfolio Committee, which pertains to the debate on the appointment of the Public Service Commissioner. We will then start this debate with the report by the chairperson of Premier Portfolio Committee on the appointment of the Public Service Commissioner, Honorable CQ Madlopa, for 10 minutes. Good.
Somlomo ohloniphekile wesishamthetho sakithi KwaZulu-Natal, Ndunankulu wesifundazwe, ubaba uzikalala, members, honorable members, nomphakathi wonke wakwaZulu-Natal. The Public Service Commission's existence is premised on the Chapter 10 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, in terms of which the Commission is responsible for the maintenance of effective and efficient public administration and a high standard of professional ethics in the public service. The Constitution goes on to provide that one commissioner for each province must be nominated by the Premier of the province after being recommended by the Committee of the Provincial Legislature and approved by the Legislature through a resolution adopted with a supporting vote of a majority of its members. The term of office of the Provincial Public Service Commissioner for KwaZulu-Natal, Dr. Ustole, ended on the 31st of August 2019. It thus became necessary that a person be nominated by the Premier to fill the above vacant post. The Premier Portfolio Committee was given the task by the Honorable Speaker of finding and recommending a suitable replacement for the position of KwaZulu-Natal Commissioner of the Public Service Commission, as per the correspondence from the Premier dated the 3rd of October 2019. The following process was followed by the committee in the finalization of its recommendation. The committee met on the 8th of October 2019 to discuss the matter. The committee appointed a subcommittee in terms of Rule 1281B to deal with the process of nominating 3 suitable candidates for the appointment as KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner. The subcommittee's function were to advertise, shortlist, and interview candidates who met the minimum requirements to further make its recommendation to the committee. The adverts were published in Sunday Times on the 13th of October, Isoles on the 14th of October, Ilanga on the 17th of October, and The Witness on the 17th of October 2019. The response was overwhelming. There was a total number of 51 applicants received at the end of the closing date. The subcommittee met on the 5th of November 2019 and resolved that since this was important and delicate task, members would require some training workshop to understand what is expected of them. The subcommittee met on the 27th of November 2019, wherein the acting KwaZulu-Natal Public Service Commissioner, National Commissioner, Ms. P. Nzimande conducted a workshop to the members using a detailed PowerPoint presentation. After this workshop, members of the subcommittee felt confident that they would be able to execute the task at hand. The subcommittee's plan to conduct shortlisting during the last week of March 2020 were put on hold due to the President's declaration of the COVID-19 as a pandemic, and the country was placed on a level 5 lockdown. The subcommittee realized that doing this visually could compromise the integrity of the process, as critical information and documents of the applicants, including but not limited to the ID numbers, will need to be shared electronically. The process was then put in abeyance pending the decision by the state president to ease the lockdown levels. The subcommittee then met on the 23rd of February 2021 after the president had announced easing easing of lockdown levels to level 1. After the screening process, shortlisting commenced and 8 applicants met the minimum requirements of the post as advertised, and they were all shortlisted and invited for the interviews. Interviews were conducted on the 28th of March 2021. All 8 candidates presented themselves for the interviews. The interviews followed the format of having a technical case study exercise written by candidates who then had to make an oral presentation of the exercise and thereafter respond to 5 interview questions. The subcommittee had then scored the candidates, giving a 50% score to the case study presentation and 50% oral interviews question to a total of 100%. The subcommittee met again on the 30th of March 2021 to finalize the process. All the interviewees were rated based on their performance of the interviews, taking various factors into account, including issues of transformation and employment equity. The subcommittee decided that the following names be submitted to the House in the order of merit and preference as follows. 1, Ms. Yasmin Isop Bakas. 2, John Fizel Kutlekonke Khumalo. And lastly, Mrs. Nomonde Patience Keswa. The Portfolio Committee met on the 30th March 2021 and considered the 3 names recommended by the subcommittee. The committee resolved to adopt the report by the subcommittee to be tabled in the House in the next available slot in the sitting in terms of Rule 142. Due to the seniority of the post, the committee had followed all the public service processes related to employment. The candidates have gone for the psychometric assessment, vetting, and verification of qualifications. All the results have come back except the metric verification. However, since the position has been vacant for too long, the committee has agreed to proceed with its recommendations pending the outcome of the metric certificate verification. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, it is requested that the House resolve to approve the recommendation of the committee that the following persons be nominated for appointment as KwaZulu-Natal Public Service Commissioner in order of preference and subject to the verification of metric qualifications. 1, Yasmin Isop Bakas. 2, Mr. John Fizel Kutlekonke Khumalo. And lastly, Mrs. Nomonde Patience Keswa. I want to thank the honorable members of the Portfolio Committee, especially those who served in the subcommittee, for their cooperation and speaking in one voice during the whole process. This process would not have been a success without a winning team, which is the staff of the portfolio of the Premier. This is a winning team because they work tirelessly. And before I sit down, Honorable Speaker, I will not make a justice if I don't thank your office, Honorable Speaker, the office of the Chief Whip, and the office of the Chair of Chairs, because there was no time for us to meet because we're in the state of COVID-19. But you tried to push that we meet even on weekends. This cannot go unnoticed. Thank you very much to the strategic leadership. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Now, honorable members, we will start with the debate for 7 minutes on behalf of the ANC, the Honorable Z.L.I. Tele, Chairperson of COPTA Portfolio Committee.
Hlonishwa Somlomo, hlonishwa Ndunankulu wesifundazwe, ongqongqoshe beminyango, malunga ahloniphekile alendlu eshamthetho, zakhamuzi zaKwaZulu-Natal, ngiyabingelela. Ngithanda ukubonga inhlangano yami engilethe lapha, i-African National Congress ngokuthi ngiphe ithuba lokuthi ngibe yingxenye yale nkulumo mpikiswano. Lo hulumeni ophethwe inhlangano kaKhongolose uyasebenza. Yebo zikhona izingqinamba nezinselelo kodwa kukhona okuyinqubekela phambili. Buka nje uhlobo lomthetho sisekelo esinawo okwazi ukukhetha thina amalunga ahloniphekile kanye nezinhlobonhlobo zokhomishane abagade ukusebenza kahulumeni kanye nabasebenzi bawo. Okunye kwalokhu okuqondene nabasebenzi kutholakala esigabeni sekhulu namashumi ayisishiyagalolunye nanhlanu kuwona umthetho sisekelo. Mhlonishwa somlomo, ukusebenza kwabanye kwabasebenzi bakahulumeni akugculisi kahle umphakathi. Yingakho kukhona lesigatshana esilandelayo somthetho sisekelo esikhuluma ngokuqokwa kokhomishana abazobhekana ngqo nabasebenzi bakahulumeni abangazimisele ukusebenzela umphakathi, abanye abangogombela kwesabo. Ukhomishana obhekele ukusebenza kwabasebenzi kanye nohulumeni uzokwazi ukusisiza ukuthi iminyango eyahlukahlukene ikwazi ukusebenzisana, ibe yimbumba, ingabi maqembuqembu. Wena owabona le nsambatheka yenziwa amazwe ase-Afrika kwi-Pan African Parliament yokuthi sihluthane ngehluthu. Siphokophelephi ngempela singama-Afrika? Hhayi, kodwa namhlanje asikho lapho. Isigaba samakhulu ayisishiyagalolunye nesithupha sibeka ukuthi kukhona ukhomishana wokuphatha imisebenzi yomphakathi oyedwa kuyo yonke eNingizimu Afrika. Ikhomishana izimele futhi kufanele ingakhethi, kumele isebenzise amandla, ibuye yenze imisebenzi yayo ngaphandle kokusaba ukubonelela abathile noma ukukhipha abathile nyumbazana, ngenhloso yokulungisa ngendlela efaneleyo kanye nokuphatha kahle umphakathi kanye nokukhuphula amazinga obuciko bokwethembeka emsebenzini womphakathi. Ikhomishana kumele isebenze ngokomthetho kazwelonke. Somlomo, ezinye izingxenye zombuso ngenxa yomthetho kanye nezinye izimiso kumele zilekelele futhi zivikele ikhomishana uqikelela ukuzimela, ukungakhethi isithunzi kanye nokusebenza ngendlela elindelekile kwekhomishana. Akekho umuntu noma ingxenye yombuso engaphazamisa ukusebenza kwekhomishana. Amandla kanye nemisebenzi yekhomishana yilena: ukugqugquzela okumisiwe kanye nemigomonqangi ebekwe esigabeni sekhulu namashumi ayisishiyagalolunye nanhlanu kubasebenzi bomphakathi bonkana. Ukucubungula, ukubhekelela kanye nokuhlaziya inhlangano kanye nabaphathi nokusebenza kwabasebenzi bomphakathi. Ukuphakanyiswa izimo, ukuqikelela ukwenziwa komsebenzi ngendlela elindelekile kanye nefanele umsebenzi womphakathi. Ukunikeza inkomba ehlose ukuqikelela ukuthi inqubo yabasebenzi ephathelene nokuqashwa nokushintsha kwabasebenzi besiwa kwezinye izindawo, ukukhushulelwa ezikhundleni kanye nokuxoshwa kwabasebenzi iyahambisana nokumisiwe kanye nemigomonqangi ebekiwe esigabeni sekhulu namashumi ayisishiyagalolunye nanhlanu. Ukubika mayelana nemisebenzi kanye nokwenziwa kwemisebenzi kubandakanya noma ikuphi okuphakanyiswa yiyo kanye nezinkomba nezeluleko engazinikeza, futhi ihlinzekela ukuhlaziya ukuthi izimiso kanye nemigomonqangi ebekwe esigabeni sekhulu namashumi ayisishiyagalolunye nanhlanu ilandelwe yini, noma ngokuthanda kwayo noma ngokuvela kwezikhalo. Icubungule, ibuye ihlaziye izicelo zabasebenzi kanye nabaphathi bomphakathi. Ibuye ibike esigungwini esikhethekile kanye nesishayamthetho. Ukucubungula izikhalo zabasebenzi emsebenzini womphakathi eziphathelene nokwenziwa iziphathimandla noma amaphutha kanye nokwenza izinqumo ezifanele ngezithumbululo. Somlomo, ikhomishana uyedwa ngokwesifundazwe sisinye oqokwa nguNdunankulu wesifundazwe ngokuqondana nesigatshana sesishiyagalombili B. Ukhomishana uqokwa nguNdunankulu wesifundazwe kufanele aphakanyiswe yikomidi lesishayamthetho nesifundazwe elakhiwe amalunga alinganayo ezinhlangano zonke ezimele kwisishayamthetho. Futhi yilokho esikwenzile njengesishayamthetho saKwaZulu-Natal masenza lona lolu hlelo lokuqoka. Avunywe isishayamthetho ngesiphakamiso esithathwe ngokwesekwa ngamavoti amaningi amalunga. Umthetho wePhalamende kufanele wakhiwe inqubo yokuqashwa kokhomishana. Ukhomishana uqokelwe isikhathi seminyaka emihlanu esivuselelwa kanye kuphela kanye kumele abe ngowesifazane noma owesilisa oyisakhamuzi saseNingizimu Afrika. Umongameli we-ANC uComrade Oliver Reginald Tambo wake wathi, ngiyacaphuna, kunzima kakhulu uqala impi yezombusazwe ebheke ngqo kubacindazeli. Niyobona seniphethe izwe ukuthi kunzima kangakanani ukuphatha, ninelise abantu nomphakathi ezidingweni ngqango zabo. Kuyomele sifunde izinto ezinhle ebezenziwa isitha, ngoba akusiko konke okubi abakwenzayo, kukhona nokuhle. Simfisela inhlanhla ukhomishina omusha, ngiyabonga.
Sizawucela ukuphakamisa Sizocela ngokusibize ilungu elilandelayo wemizuzu emihlanu emele iqembu le-Inkatha Freedom Party, umhlonishwa MB Gwala ophinde abe ngusotswebhu omkhulu wabaphikisayo.
Ngibeka kabi. Honorable Speaker, angizukwanda ngomlomo okwesiqabetho kulolu daba. The IFP caucus commends the Premier and the Legislature Speaker for requesting a multi-party joint work on the task of interviewing the Provincial Public Service Commissioner. We appreciate the strategic recruitment process that showed objectivity, fairness, transparency, and equity. When various political leaders work together for a common goal, there is indeed harmony, progress, and unity that is needed to take our province forward. The IFP recommends the first candidate, as she does not only possess the necessary qualifications, expertise, and experience, but she is a female powerhouse with necessary leadership qualities, potential, and knowledge relevant to the Public Service Commission, as she previously headed the Department of Community Safety and Liaison for many years. In case the first candidate refuses the appointment due to any unforeseen circumstances, the IFP recommends candidate number 2, and if number 2 is unable to accept the appointment, then number 3 can be appointed. It is unfortunate that the second candidate lost his parents over a period of a week through COVID-19 complications. We urge that the candidate that will be appointed hits the ground running, executing the mandates of the PSC, which include promoting the constitutionally enshrined democratic principles and values of the public service of KwaZulu-Natal. We thank the chairperson, Honorable Madlopa, members of the panel, human resources staff from the Office of the Premier and the Legislature, who were exceptional in facilitating a fair and impartial process. I thank you. Honorable Speaker.
Sizocela ilungu elilandelayo elinemizuzu emine elimele i-Democratic Alliance umhlonishwa uZM Mwango ophinde abe ngusotswebhu we-second biggest minority in the house.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The term of office for the Provincial Public Service Commissioner for KwaZulu-Natal, Dr. MP Sithole, ended with effect from 31st of August 2019, as correctly stated by the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee. Honorable Speaker, it cannot be right that it has taken so long to replace such a critical position. KwaZulu-Natal didn't have a public service commissioner for about 2 years, and that is unacceptable. We hope this will never happen again. While we understand COVID-19 had an impact this time around, the Premier Portfolio Committee was given a task of finding a suitable replacement for the position of KwaZulu-Natal Commissioner of Public Services on the 3rd of October 2019, as mandated by you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, despite the delays, the DA is happy that the matter has been concluded finally. We are happy because finally we have someone to ensure, amongst other functions and responsibilities, the promotion of values and principles throughout the public service as set out in Section 195 of the Constitution. Investigate, monitor, evaluate organization and administration and the personal practices of the public service. Propose measures to ensure effective and efficient performance within the public service, to investigate grievances of employees in the public service commission services concerning official acts and or omissions, and recommend appropriate remedies. Honorable Speaker, it is more critical as even the National Minister of Public Services, Senzo Mchunu, raised the concern around government employees that get suspended for more than 90 days with pay. In most cases, kwenzeka ngoba abantu balwa izimpilo zabo besebenzisa inkinga ezikhona zabasebenzi, ikakhulukazi kwenziwa ama-senior managers abayingcindezi yezepolitiki ebakhona. We hope this will come to an end, and as it's costing a lot of money from government, le mali engabuya kuma-services. Honorable Speaker, as a member of the panel that met on the 30th of March, I can confirm that the process was fair, transparent, and I can safely say the appointment was based on merit. Kwaba khona phela somlomo ukuzibuza phela noma ke ukuthi ngabe kungenzeka yini ukuthi ihashi mhlawumbe leli esilifunikhethwe selibhejelwe ngoba siyazi kune deployment eyenziwayo kuba nama mandate, kodwa ke ngingasho ngithi cha, uma lalibhejelwe kwakubhejwe kahle ngoba cha khona saba happy sonke ngehashi. Ngingasho nje somlomo ukuthi bobathathwa abakhethiwe in a ranked order bakulungele ukwenza lo msebenzi. Yingakho CDA we support recommendation. Siyabonga somlomo.
Sizocela ilungu elilandelayo imizuzu emithathu elimele i-Economic Freedom Fighters umhlonishwa AV Khoza. Mkhathini. Honorable Khoza, are you on the virtual platform? Honorable members, I can't even hear the table staff. Honorable Khoza, I can't seem to pick him up for now. We will come back. Honorable VR Mlotshwa of the NFP. Uzuzwa.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker and honourable members. The NFP hereby accept the appointment of the Commission since all necessary processes were followed, taking into consideration that Premier Committee had assigned the subcommittee and given all powers to conduct interviews and came up with the recommended name. So therefore, as NFP, we support the name recommended. I thank you.
The next member for 1 minute is Honorable Etztakur Rajvanzi of the MF.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The MF welcomes the inclusive nature of consultation via debate for the appointment of KZN's Public Service Commissioner. This is a daunting task-ridden position. Therefore, the Minority Front supports the appointment of Ms. Yasmin Bakkes as its first choice, only for one reason, and that is that we've had the privilege to work with her in safety and security, as well as in other forums. Ms. Bakkes, we hope that you accept this position, as there is a lot more that has to be done to improve the quality of our public service. The MF wishes you well in your tenure, and we hope to see you address this Honourable House and portfolio committees when called upon, like your predecessor, Commissioner Sitole. Thank you very much.
Honorable Khoza, are you on the platform? Honorable Khoza, are you on the platform? Honorable members, it seems as if Honorable Khoza is not on the platform. Therefore, his name will fall off the speakers list. We're now moving to the next, for 1 minute, Honorable M.E. Phakathi. Honorable M.E. Phakathi. I can't get him. I will call Honorable S.E. Manqele of the ACDP for 1 minute.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Speaker. The ACDP acknowledges the appointment of the Public Service Commissioner.
Honorable members, order. Order, honorable members. Let's have order. Honorable Manqele, you can speak now.
We reiterate the mission and function of the Commissioner, which is aimed to uphold the constitutionality and shrink at democratic principles and values of the public service by investigating, researching, monitoring, evaluating, and reporting on the public administration. The ACDP understands that the role that the Public Service Commission holds and want to re-emphasize the importance of the duties that will be executed by the PSC. Yes.
What are you raising on, Chief Whip?
Honorable Speaker, ngonathi akagqokile kahle. Kone
Honorable Manqele, Khubeleka Bishop. Honorable.
The P must be carried out with integrity, honesty, and accountability, upholding the Constitution at all times. As ACDP, we welcome the appointment of the Commissioner. Thank you.
Honorable Phakathi, are you back in the house? Honorable Phakathi? Honorable member, seems as Honorable Phakathi is also not connected on the virtual platform. Therefore, he falls off the speakers list. We are now, the reason, honorable members, I'm asking twice, it's because we have received no apology for both members. Now I will go to the next member for 7 minutes on behalf of the ANC, Honorable MPP Zungu, the Deputy Chair of Committees.
Ngibonge Somlomo namalungu endlu yakho ehloniphekile. Kuyintokozo kimi enkulu kuba ngithole ithuba njengothunywe inhlangano yami uKhongolose. Ngivumele ngisukume ngisike elijikayo ngalombiko oqeda kuthulwa nguhlalo wekomiti elibhekele imisebenzi ehhovisi kaNdunankulu. Somlomo, isandlulelo somthethosisekelo wezwe laseNingizimu Afrika sekubeke kucace bha ukuthi iNingizimu Afrika ingabo bonke abantu abaphila futhi abahlala kuyona bebumbene ngokwahlukahlukana nangokwezinhlanga zabo. Kodwa futhi Somlomo nendlu yakho ehloniphekile kuliqiniso elimsulwa ukuthi umthethosisekelo uyisimila esidalwe ukusabalala kwezimpande ezijulile ezagxila ngenkathi kwakhiwa umqulu wenkululeko okuyi-Freedom Charter owabhalwa kwinkongolo yabantu ngo-1955 eKliptown. Umqulu wenkululeko ungohluke kakhulu ngoba abantu babamba iqhaza elibonakalayo ekubumbeni umbono okuyi-vision ongowabo mayelana nohlobo lomphakathi ababedinga ukuzibona beyilona. Kulapho abantu bathatha isinqumo esinqala sokuchitha uhlelo lokubuswa ngengcindezelo nangokuxhashazwa okwakuyinsakavukela kuhlomchilo wesidabo isithuba somdabu eminyakeni yabo-1950 nangaphambilini. Somlomo, thina siwuKhongolose siyakholwa ukuthi ukuba khona kukakhomishana obhekele imisebenzi yomphakathi kungenye yezindlela zokuqinisa nokugxilisa ukusebenza kwemigomo eqaphe ukulekelelwa kwemiphakathi. Imigomo leyo Somlomo, imigomo leyo ibizwa ngokuthi buthupili principles, sibeka abantu phambili. Lokho kuwuhlelo lokuthuthukisa izinga bunjalo esingabalula ngokuthi equality ngolimi lukaGeorge kanye nokufinyelela accessibility kwezinsiza ezilethwa nguhulumeni wabantu kubantu. Futhi ke lokhu kuwuhlelo lokwenyusa izinga lesibopho kuphendula, which is accountability ngolwasemzini. Ohlangothini lukahulumeni onesibopho sekuphendula emphakathini ngezinsiza azihlinzekela wona umphakathi uqobo. Somlomo ohloniphekile nendlu, nginika lesi sendlalelo nje ngenhloso yokubika ukuthi kube mqoka ukuba ikomiti likhumbule ukuthi ubanzi kangakanani umphakathi waseNingizimu Afrika ngenkathi likhipha isikhangiso salo msebenzi. Njengoba ebalulile usihlalo embikweni wekomiti, ngisho namaphephandaba imbala okukhangiswe kuwona lesi sikhundla ayinkomba yokuthi akubanga khona ngxenye yomphakathi ekhishwe inyumbazane yanxishwa ithuba. Ngiyafisa nje ukuthi ngiyichazele ukuqeqeshwa kwekomiti eliyinkonyane, isubcommittee le engikhuluma ngayo, elalijutshwe ukuba lisingathe lonke uhlelo lokuthungatha ozoqhuqhubala lesi sikhundla. Ngenxa yobumqoka balesi sikhundla nokubuka ukuthi njengamalungu thina asijwayele ukwengamela inhlolo khona, okusho ukuthi ama-interview. Kwabe sekubaluleka ukuthi sicele uqeqesho ukuze sazi ukuthi yini elindeleke kithi nokuthi singanyanyalati nxa senza lo msebenzi omqoka kangaka. Nembala wafika ukhomishana wayesibambele umama uNzimande ongomunye wokhomishana abakuzwelonke. Wasiqeqesha, sabuza imibuzo, saphuma sinelile noma senelisekile. Siyambonga kakhulu ukhomishana uNzimande ngoba nanxa sasibheke ukuthi uzosikhelela ngentshengula, wavele wasikhelela ngesiqwembe. Lokho kwasenza sazizwa sikulungele ukwenza ngokwethembeka lo msebenzi obalekile somlomo. Kwasithokozisa kakhulu njengekomidi eliyinkonyane i-subcommittee elajutshwa ukwenza lo msebenzi ngenkathi sithola ukuthi kungene izicelo ezevile emashumini amahlanu futhi zivele emphakathini ngobubanzi wabo. Bheka ngoba ezinye zazivela esifundazweni sako-Gauteng, eNtshona Koloni, eMpuma Koloni, Limpopo, nakulo leli kaMthaniya. Ngingakusho ngingananazi somlomo nendlu yakho ukuthi siyilandele yonke imithetho kuhlanganisa naleyo ebhekele abasebenzi, labor laws, ngesikhathi sihlunga nangenkathi senhlolo khono okwama-interviews. Singamalungu ekomidi savumelana ngazwilinye ngamagama ethulwe nguhlalo wethu lapha kule ndlu yakho somlomo ukuba iwemukele. Ngokulandelana kokokuma kwawo, senelisekile ukuthi akusoze kwabakhona ukuzisola nokuninga okungapheliyo ngomsebenzi esiwenzile kusuka ekuqaleni kuze ube uyaphothula. Nakuba-ke besizinhlangano zombusazwe ezahlukene, akukho lapho siphambane khona ngemibono ngenkathi senza lo msebenzi, kuvelile nakumalungu akhulume phambi kwami. Nalapho sibheka imilando kuzazisa yabantu, curriculum vitae, sonke sahlala umqhele ngokujula kolwazi abanalo ekusebenzeleni uhulumeni. Ngaphambi kokuba ngihlale phansi somlomo, angithathe leli thuba ngibonge futhi nami nginqome abasebenzi okuyibona ababewudondolo lwekomiti, support staff, beseluleka nangemithetho okumele sihambisane ngayo. Ngibonge nakozakethu esisebenze kahle nabo ngokukhulu ukuvumelana nokubambisana okunenqubekela phambili ekuqinisekiseni ukuthi kutholakala umuntu okufanele nowaziyo umsebenzi njengoba kwakusho isikhanguzo. Ngiyafisa-ke somlomo ukuthi ngiphinde ngixwayise ukuthi cha, ake siphumeni ngobuningi bethu siwuthole lo mgomo olwisana nokhuvethe, ngoba lokho kuyosenza ukuthi ngokozomnotho njengesizwe nangjengezwe umnotho wethu ube omunye wemnotho esimamayo, singagcini silahlekelwa amathuba emisebenzi, sibe nenswelo ngqasho esezingeni eliphezulu. Umbutho wabantu uyawuseka kakhulu isethulo esenziwe sihlalo. Ngiyabonga.
Honorable members, sesifike ekugcineni manje sesizocela usihlalo wekomidi lelo elibhekele ukusebenza komnyango kaNdunankulu, umhlonishwa uSithu Madlopha, ukuthi azokwazi ukuphendula kobe kukhulunywa ngamalunga. Unemizuzu eyisihlanu.
Ngiphinde ngibonge somlomo Mahubela. Ngibingelele amalunga ahloniphekile alesi sishayamthetho. Sifisa nje siyikomidi ukubonga. Sibonge u-Honorable Cele ngokuthi akwazi ukuthi aphakamise ukubaluleka kwekhomishana nokuba khona kwayo, nokuthi abeke imisebenzi yabo okufanele ukuthi bayenze ukuze njengesizwe sazi ukuthi silindeleni kuyi-candidate ezokwazi ukuthi ithathe lo msebenzi. Sibonga kakhulu, wakulawula, wawubeka nomthethosisekelo lapho evela khona, wabeka usection 195 no-196 oqagula kakhulu imisebenzi ezokwenziwa ile candidate namhlanje esizocela ukuthi isishayamthetho siyemukele njengabantu okuyibona esizobukela kubona ukuthi sithatha muphi, kodwa sibeke ngokuthi owokuqala uyena esimphakamisa kuqala ukuthi abe phezulu. Sibonge wonke amalunga aleli komiti, ikakhulukazi i-subcommittee ebesisebenza nayo. Besizinhlanganisa ezahlukene somlomo, kodwa indlela ebesisebenza ngayo sifisa nje ukubonga ngoba ngenkathi sihleli babe raise abanye babo ama-questions ayelidela ukuthi sikwazi ukuqina emsebenzini esizowenza, siziprepare kwesingahlangana nakho endleleni. Siyafisa nje ukubonga kakhulu wonke amalungu, sibonge Ndosi, sibonge Manzini, sibonge kakhulu kuBaba uGwala, sibonge no Baba uMnqango. Sisebenze kahle kakhulu. Ngiyafisa ke ukuqinisekisa lokho kushiwo uManzini la ukuthi ukuba khona kuka commissioner kuzosilekelela kakhulu ukuthi kupromote ibathupili ukubeka abantu phambili njengokulawula kwe-Freedom Charter. Yinto ebaluleke kakhulu ukuthi na sonke ngoba sila because we are here to represent our people. Siyafisa ke ukuqinisekisa uBaba uMnqango. Baba uMnqango, I told you from the beginning ukuthi i-process elidwa African National Congress will always be free and fair. So we demonstrated that. We told you before, we finalize it, and we are confirming it today. So thank you very much for being honest to say that we were really transparent to all the parties. Siyafisa ke ukubeka phambi kwalendlu ukuba sibeke lamagama njengoba siwa announceile ukuba namhlanje approve la kulendlu yesishayamthetho somlomo. Siyabonga kakhulu. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you to all of you, honorable members. Now we are done with the debate. We will move to the voting on the appointment of the Public Service Commissioner for the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Honorable members, we want to confirm first from the Secretary whether we have the necessary quorum.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We do have quorum. The total number of members in the House is 64.
Honorable members, the House now needs to consider whether or not to approve recommendations of the Premier Portfolio Committee pertaining to the appointment of the KwaZulu-Natal Commissioner on the Public Service Commission. As per the request of the Premier Portfolio Committee, I now put the question to the House as follows. The KZN Legislature resolves to approve the recommendations of the Premier Committee that the following persons be nominated for appointment as KwaZulu-Natal Public Service Commissioner in order of preference and subject to verification of metric qualification. 1. Ms. Yasmin Esop Bakas. 2. Mr. John Fitzel Kuhlekonke Kumalo. 3. Mrs. Nomonde Patience Keswa. I will then start with those in support of the resolution to approve the recommendations of the Premier Committee. As I had indicated earlier on that I will go party by party. I will start with Ingata Freedom Party. Honorable member, please switch on your mic so that you go on record.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the appointment of the first candidate as presented by the chairperson of the Premier's Portfolio Committee. Thank you.
Honorable, the DA.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The DA support the recommendation of candidate in the rank order. Thank you.
EFF. Ikhona kodwa endlini EFF table staff. If you check on the platform, Economic Freedom Fighters. economic freedom fighters. The reason I am asking them is because we want to record their vote. They are on the platform.
Honorable
Two
Speaker.
members. Yes.
Is Honorable Mtali?
Yes, Honorable Member.
Yes, Speaker, we do support the recommendation of the appointments.
The NFP?
Honorable Speaker, the NFP support the appointment.
The Minority Front?
Honorable Speaker, the Minority Front supports the recommendation in the order given by the Premier's Portfolio Committee. Thank you.
The ACDP?
Yes, Speaker, we as ACDP also support.
The ATM? Is the ATM on the platform? The ATM is not in the house. ANC? ANC? Anikwazi nobathathu. Zamani nalene kwamakhelwane noma nize kweka leader wephathi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The ANC supports the recommendation Portfolio Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Members. I now have the votes of all parties. Is there any member who wishes to express an individual vote that is different from their party vote or to abstain? Is there any member who wishes to express an individual vote that is different from their party vote or to abstain? Seeing that there is none, Secretary, can I ask for the tally of the votes?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The voting results are as follows. Votes in favor 64, votes against nil, abstentions nil.
Honorable members, I therefore formally declare the result of the vote as votes in favor 64, votes against 0, abstentions 0. It is therefore recorded that the recommendations of the Premier Portfolio Committee that the following persons be nominated for appointment as KwaZulu-Natal Public Service Commissioner in order of preference and subject to verification of matric qualifications, namely, first one is Ms. Yasmin Esop Bakas, second, Mr. John Fitzel Kuslekonke Kumalo, the third, Mrs. Nomonde, the Patience Keswa, is duly supported. Honorable members, now that we have come to the conclusion of we have then come to the conclusion of the debate. I think, honorable members, lightly but very seriously, we need to remind honorable members on virtual platforms about the necessary etiquettes of the sitting. That includes getting a venue where there will be no interference, the background noise, and passing of people whilst a member is on the podium is disturbing. But also ensuring that you are decent. We have agreed that the House, in terms of the rules, have a standard way of dressing in the House. But decency goes also beyond even the place that you are sitting. You can't be sitting in a bed. I'm not saying some members have sat on a bed. You can't be sitting in a bed, even if you are in your suit, then that would lack decency. I am just appealing to honorable members. So far, the House has been protected from what we are saying in the social media space as having happened in other areas where such meetings are taking place. We are just reminding you, honorable members, that please be decent. Ensure that your environment is really preserving the decorum. But importantly, it is your responsibility to go to a place where there is proper network connectivity. You know, nothing disturbs like the breaks that we get, and Hansard is unable to properly record your speech. And these speeches sometimes are not only needed as a history, but they are also sometimes needed as a legal document. So we are just appealing to all of you. When we started, honorable members, the LOGP has said they do not have any announcement for now. I then want to give them an opportunity to check whether there is any announcement from the Office of the Premier.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, there are no announcements, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable LOGB. Thank you, honorable members of the House. We will now say that the House is adjourned.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Ngiyathokoza. Ngiyathokoza.
Mandla.
Asithokoze somlo. Nizwile-ke nina bomakhulumajana adlala nizwile bomakhulumajana. Ngingahlali phezu kombhede.
Yehorhos network yakho mntana wenkosi Gabhisa. Awuzwakali nje Gabhisa wakona mfowethu kulungile. Wazaze bawuthathe kancane umzumbe siyeke.